Now, the country's criminal justice system is often criticized for being too soft on crime. The police minister blaming the courts for granting bail to dangerous criminals. Meanwhile, the courts are often frustrated by what they claim is shoddy police work, missing dockets, and, as we've just heard, as well, DNA backlogs. Resource constraints plague prosecutors who are now having to deal with state capture. Is the criminal justice system crumbling? Well, let's get some analysis from political analyst David Maimela. David, good afternoon, and thank you very much for your time. We are focusing on the whole issue of criminal justice system on the channel here today, and there's many stories, I mean, including what's been playing out in eNCA today, with the people there having marched yesterday calling for the arrest of the killers or the suspects of Namhla Mthwa, the police minister on the ground today, the police commissioner on the ground today. But it looks like it just takes too long to solve these crimes, like gender-based violence.
Yes, thanks, Dan. You know, Dan, I really have to speak on behalf of myself and on behalf of millions of other men out there in the country, that, you know, the scourge of GBV is really getting out of hand. It has always been with us, but I think the spotlight put on it by the media is actually helping us to, you know, increase our efforts to deal with this problem. I must say that I feel if I were to keep quiet, I would be complicit in the ongoing violence against women and children. And I must indicate that on a positive note, on other side of my life, I'm a father, you know, to a very young boy, and I've put together efforts with guys like Bongani Luvalo, who runs a foundation called Cool Dads Foundation, and very soon we'll be launching a book about good stories about fathers who actually are present. And among other objectives of us being present in the lives of our kids, both the girl child and the boys, is to basically nurture them and teach them about human dignity and what it means to be a human being and what it means to live with other human beings in society. So I'm really proud of that initiative, but I think I must speak out against GBV. It is wrong, it must end, and the perpetrators must be brought to book. But I think it's a responsibility and a challenge for all of us in society, and we must win over this scourge.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a pandemic, as the president has said, we need to see that action that aligns with that messaging and funding and stuff. I mean, we saw the women and members of the community yesterday in eNCA really expressing their outrage in the killing, about the killing of Namhla Mthwa, who after 30 days, the killers or killer still roaming the streets. Apparently, I mean, her mother witnessed that killing and begged the person, the gunman who was shooting her, to stop, and he did not. I think, David, you're making a very good point as a man, as a father as well, and good luck with your initiative. We need more such efforts. But when we look then at the criminal justice system, it also seems to be failing our women. Yes. I mean, I think, you know, we have to get a bit tougher. I must say that, Dan, I mean, the way I feel so frustrated and defeated about this. And I must say out there, I hope my mother is watching. I know she would never approve of me to do anything GBV related. And I mean, I know I grew up 40 years ago. I was a child myself, and I would get a hiding from my mother for doing anything closer to that. And I think people are, because of the desperation and the pain and the suffering that is ongoing, people are really edging towards endorsing the idea of the return of the death penalty. And I mean, you know, I'm sitting here, I never thought I would even think about supporting such an idea, but you know, the desperation and the pain and the suffering is just too much, that some of us are beginning to edge closer to the idea that the death penalty should return
for some of these very, very gruesome crimes that I think should come to an end.
Yeah, David, I just lost you there a little bit towards the end. But I mean, if you look at the killing of Buntle Mashiane, a 6-year-old girl in Mpumalanga the other day, her body found last weekend, and police say they're still looking for other body parts. I mean, the gruesome nature, the horrific, gruesome nature of that crime might, of course, lead you and many other people to begin to think that the criminal justice system in South Africa today needs a death penalty. But you have to engage with that because you need a constitutional amendment. But away from that emotion, practically today, what do you think should be done to shore up the criminal justice system, to make it deliver justice to many families in South Africa today who are grieving?
You know, then I'm more interested in how do we prevent these crimes, and I mean, the criminal justice system comes at the end of the process, when the actions or the crimes have already been committed. But the challenge that I think we have, all of us, is how do we bring about children, families, and communities, and the whole society as a society that is caring, a society that values a human life and human dignity, a society that is founded on the values that we claim to espouse in the Constitution. And of course, I mean, I'm not naive to the fact that there's so many contributing factors to violence in our society. Poverty, drug abuse, patriarchy, and many others that are, including even inequality, that actually contribute to a society that is cannibalizing on itself. Including even cannibalizing on women, children, and the girl child. And I think if we were to deal with this thing sustainably and in a very coherent manner, you would want ideally to have a situation where we've got safeguards and prevention rather than actually reacting after the fact. So I don't want to see these crimes in our courts. I don't want the justice system to be burdened with such crimes. I want us to have a situation where we do not have this type of thing. But the criminal justice system has got to be strengthened with all the resources that we have. And we've got to make sure that the punishment is even more harsher and for people to be deterred from doing such things. I just ran out of, I just feel defeated, honestly.
Thank you very much for your honesty and also opening up about you as a father, as a black man, especially around GBV issues and what the little you're doing in your networks, in your ecosystem there, David Maimela, political analyst, in terms of bringing up your son in the right way.